Bernie! 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 Bernie!
Good afternoon. My name is Nick Sakadakis. I'm a precinct captain for the Bernie Sanders presidential campaign. And I'm a member of Veterans for Bernie. I stand before you to answer the question, why Bernie Sanders? Two reasons. First, wealth disparity and income inequality. Fact. In the 21st century, we have the greatest wealth disparity of any nation in history. Billions of dollars are spent lobbying Congress so that trillions can be stashed in tax-free zones like the Cayman Islands. This is wealth that can't be reinvested in America. Productivity and profits are at all-time highs, but working families are struggling just to put food on the table. As Bernie says, billionaires need to pay their fair share. Second reason, my own humble effort to repay him for his tremendous work on behalf of all veterans as the former chairman and current member of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee. Whether it's fighting to fully fund and expand VA health care, his fighting to restore cuts to military pensions, and fighting to end the travesty of veterans' homelessness. These efforts, just to name a few, do not go unnoticed. With that, please join me in welcoming the next President of the United States, Bernie Sanders.
Thank you all very much.
Welcome.
God, how far back does this go? Let me thank you very much for your active participation in this grassroots campaign. And I'll tell you why I believe we're going to win this election.
Yeah.
Because of you. Because what is going on in this country is that millions of people are saying no to establishment politics, no to establishment economics, and people are prepared to join a grassroots movement which is going to profoundly change the way government does business. So we have the radical idea, very radical idea, that maybe government should represent all of us and not just a handful of billionaires. And most people agree with that.
That's right.
Let me tell you a little bit about what a grassroots movement is about and what the kind of campaign that we are waging. Just this weekend, we just came from Mount Vernon a few hours ago. We had a wonderful meeting, about 1,000 folks were out there. Yesterday we spoke at Anamosa. We spoke at Clinton, we spoke at Dubuque, and we spoke in Waterloo, and altogether we spoke to about 3,000 people in one day. I just asked my staff to compute how many people we have spoken to since this campaign began in Iowa. We've spoken to 28,000 people. 28,000
That's just in Iowa.
In New Hampshire, we have had meetings where 19,000 people have come out. Nationally, we've had about 400,000 people coming out to our meetings. So we're kind of doing it the old-fashioned way. What you are doing is knocking on doors, and we're holding town meetings where people are coming out, and we're talking about the most important issues facing our country. And that's why I believe we're going to win.
Yes.
And I think an indication of that, which is also extraordinary, is we have to make a decision very, very early on in the campaign. And that is, as all of you know, in this day and age, to run a campaign requires a whole lot of money. And the choices we had is to do what every other Democratic candidate is doing, and that is to establish a super PAC in which we sit down with a bunch of millionaires and we raise all kinds of money from a handful of very wealthy people. That's one way you can do it. That's what most people do. We chose to do it a very different way. And that is to ask the middle class and working families of this country to help us win this election.
Yes. Yes.
And the result of that, this is really extraordinary. And I would not have told you 7 months ago that we could have done it. But as of today, we have over 800,000 Americans who have made individual contributions. That is more. That is more individual contributions than any campaign in American history for somebody who is not the President of the United States. And the other thing that we have done, which is impressive, is exactly what you're doing. You're volunteering on the campaign, you're out knocking on doors, you're making telephone calls. We have hundreds of thousands of volunteers, many thousand here in Iowa, hundreds of thousands of people all over this country. And I think the reason that we are seeing the kinds of turnouts that we're seeing, the reason that we are seeing so many people contribute to the campaign, is we are dealing with the real issues that impact the American people. All right? Just this afternoon in Mount Vernon, we met with a bunch of veterans, people who put their lives on the line to defend this country. And as you heard, I'm the former chairman of the Veterans Committee. So let me repeat a pledge to you that I made to them. And that is, we will not turn our backs on people who have put their lives on the line to defend us. Some of them came home sick in body or emotionally. We are going to give them the best quality health care that we possibly can and make sure that they get their benefits in a timely manner. And we understand, and you are finding this, I'm sure that when you're knocking on doors, people just wonder why they have to work such long hours. And almost all new income and wealth is going to the top 1%. They wonder why they can't afford childcare, they can't afford to send their kids to college, or in some cases, can't afford to put food on the table. And what we are pledged to do is to take on the billionaire class and to create an economy that works for all of our people and not just a handful of very, very wealthy people. What we are also talking about is an understanding that we do not succeed as a nation unless we have the best educated workforce in the world. And that is why I absolutely believe that we must make public colleges and universities tuition free.
Yes,
Bernie! One of the promises that I've made throughout this campaign, I haven't made a whole lot, but one of them that I have made is that we are going to do everything that we can to end institutional racism in America and reform a broken criminal justice system. That means a whole lot, and I know that many of you are familiar with what we are talking about. Go to our website, we have a detailed set of positions. But bottom line is that in this great country, we should not have more people in jail than any other country on earth. And what it also means that we should be investing in jobs and education for our young people, not more jails and more incarceration. At the end of the day, to generalize, it is less expensive to send a kid to the University of Iowa than to lock them up.
That's right. That's right.
Now, all of you are aware of the Climate Change International Conference taking place in Paris. I think some progress has been made, not enough. But what I believe, as somebody who has 7 very beautiful grandchildren, I think we have a moral responsibility to make sure that the planet we leave to our kids and grandchildren is one that is healthy and one that is habitable. And what that essentially means is we have to have the strength and the courage to take on the fossil fuel industry, which is far more concerned about short-term profits than they are about the future of this planet. Yeah. So our goal, and by the way, congratulations, Iowa, because I think you are certainly one of the leading states in this country. You're getting something like 29% of your electricity from wind. That number is going to go up. You're certainly leading in biofuels, helping us break our dependence on fossil fuel. So you're doing a good job, but all of us have got to do a lot more. We know what we have to do. And that takes us to the issue of campaign finance and a corrupt campaign finance system. Because if you think that my Republican colleagues don't understand the reality of climate change, that there's dummies or something. You're missing the point. They understand it. But what they also understand is that they stand up and tell the truth about climate change and the need to transform our energy system. You know what happens to them tomorrow? Their campaign funds from the Koch brothers and the fossil fuel industry gets cut off. So our demand of them is to think more about their children and their grandchildren and the future of this planet than it is their campaign contributions and to do the right thing.
Hell yeah. Yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Let me just conclude by saying this, and I say this in virtually every speech that I give. This campaign, honestly, is not about me, it's not about Hillary Clinton. It's, not even about Donald Trump, hard to believe, but it's
He thinks it is. He thinks
it's hard to believe. He
thinks it is.
It's about you. It's about
That's
your
right.
kids, and it's about your parents. And it's about creating the kind of nation that we know we can create. And what I always say is that no president, not Bernie Sanders, sorry I have to say, not anybody else, no president can do it alone, because the powers that we are taking on are so powerful that no president alone can defeat them. So if we want to create an economy that works for working families, if we want to end institutional racism, we want to deal with climate change, if we want to make public colleges and universities tuition-free, if we want to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, we want to rebuild our infrastructure and create millions of jobs, etc., etc. The only way we do that is when millions of people come together. And demand that our government represents all of us and not just the 1%. And that's what this campaign is about. Not about me. It is about all of us working together, not just to elect the president, but to transform this country and to make this country the nation we know it can be. So I just want to thank all of you for your incredibly hard work. I think we're going to win here in Iowa.
Yeah.
We have to win.
I'm feeling very good. I got a good political gut, and I'm seeing a lot of momentum out there, I believe, because of what you're doing, the size of the meetings, the kind of response that we're getting. So we got another 2 months or so to go, and we need to work as hard as we can. But we win here, we win in New Hampshire, we have a clear path to victory, and I think we can do it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you, Bernie.